I'm that type. Up till now, I'll look at you and I think that I want to be like you.
Are you concerned about the breakup or the breaking down of our communal living concept?
I've been talking about this.
2 questions that emanate from the Rev. But number 1, what were the key principles and values you picked from these mentors? That's number 2. Now, if listening to you, it's obvious that you were more like a community product. Today, we are losing that communal spirit among Ghanaians. Everybody is living in Accra, father, son, what we call the nucleus family and stuff. You can't even correct another person's child who is not your own biological child. Are you concerned about that?
Yeah, for your second question, I'm very concerned. But for the first question, as I said, what I really, took out of people around me in the community, tracing from the family, the church, the school. I think the family church school had influenced my life. And it was about the mentoring procedures.
Yes. I mean, this is interesting, and I'm delighted that we've gone this way because we are talking about education, and particularly the future of Ghana and our young people. And I'm sure, being the principal of Agugu Presbyterian Training College of Education, you've seen a lot. How many years have you been there?
February will be 6 years.
6 years.
10th February 2020.
Wonderful. So, which means that a lot of young people have passed through your hands. So, before we get into that, let me get into your background a bit. Growing up, did you ever know you wanted to be a reverend minister?
No.
Because the grace I knew at Oforipenny was not the Presbyterian reverend minister that we're looking at that time.
Exactly.
By the way, viewers, this is my classmate, as I said. Were we in the same class?
I did art.
You did? Yeah, so I also did art.
No, you did science.
I did science.
I think
I wanted to become a doctor.
Together. Yes, someone went together.
Great. So, but I'm interested in what are some of the things that shaped your upbringing, your growing up? What are some of the principles, the values that really, because you cannot just end up the way you have ended up without any values and principles and stuff. And where did you pick them from?
Yeah, so let me start with my family.
Right.
Yes, my dad was a tutor at Oforipenny Secondary School, where I was born in 1969.
And you should add, the best school.
Yes, the best school. Yeah. So you see that my umbilical cord is still at Oforipenny Secondary School. Yeah, the best school. My dad was
and please add,
the best school.
The best school.
Yeah, my dad was a math tutor, and my mother was a primary school, teacher at the Presbyterian primary school. So you see my background. Yeah, so it looks like I had the mentors from birth, my father and my mother, and those who surrounded me. I'm told when I was born, because I'm the firstborn, my mom took me to the then headmaster. He is still alive. My dad is of blessed memory, but my mother is alive.
Okay.
Yeah, my mother, I call her Yedufi. She comes from Kwabin. Yes.
Achim.
Achim Kwabin. And my father comes from Siakwa and Apidra.
So you're typical Achim.
I'm typical Achim. And when my dad died and I was reading the tribute, when my mother wrote, that's why I realized, that's where I realized that my dad and mom even met when they had finished, they were in the secondary school and they were in the same union, Achim Students Union.
Interesting.
Because my mother is from Kwabin, my father was from Siakwa and Apidra. And the then headmaster, Mr. Chumampofu. I think he was 100 years some few months ago, and it was even in the Daily Graphic.
He's still alive?
He's still alive at Siakwa. Yeah, so when I was born, I'm told I was taken to his house, the headmaster's house, the one that we still have at the best school.
No, the best school, on the hill.
Yes. Yeah, so, as a firstborn, my dad was a young man, then about... I think my dad was like 30 years old when he gave birth to me, the firstborn. So the headmaster's wife, who was also a teacher, brought my mother to their home to take care of me until my grandmother came from Kwabe to take care of me. Yeah, so from my infancy, I see that I had my mentors as my father and mother, and then my parents, colleagues who surrounded us. And also, as a Presbyterian child, we were going for Sunday school. And I remember as a firstborn, when I was also growing up, I used to take my younger siblings. I have a brother, I have two brothers and a sister. My brother is a senior research fellow, the one who comes after me. Yeah, Dr. Henry Santim. He's at the University of Ghana.
Okay.
And my sister, her, Joanna, she was also in the best school, but she is in the United Kingdom with the husband and children. And our last one, Professor Herman Santim, he is a director for cancer department at Notre Dame University in the United States of America. So I used to handle, these three. Then we'll go for Sunday school. In the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, there are generational, groups that I went through all, through the Sunday school, the junior Y, and the YAF. And then as I grew up, I started even having children. I joined the Women Fellowship. So my family, and then my teachers. From the time I started schooling, my teachers were my role models and my mentors. And then at Ufuripenyi Secondary School.
The best school.
Yes, the best school. Someone like Miss Evelyn Tay, who was teaching French. I used to admire her so much.
Haven't you heard of her for
Yes, she's there. I'm told her house is at Achu. I pass in front of her house every time. I'm told she's visited her daughter in the US.
Okay.
Yeah, so someone like at that time she was Miss Evelyn Tay.
Yes, Evelyn.
I really admired her when she was teaching us.
She was very pleasant.
Yes, that she had then come from University of Ghana.
Sure.
And so the church, they were there. But at that time I didn't see women ministers, honestly. At that time I don't remember I saw women ministers. But if you remember, though I was the extrovert type at the best school.
And you used to sing well.
Yes, I used to sing.
So
you and I, we were in the choir.
Exactly.
And then also we were in the scripture union.
Absolutely.
So, my formation.
And you were very extroverted.
Very, so I was an athlete.
Yeah.
And then when you left and I came, I became a house prefect.
Oh.
Yeah, so it looks like it is something that the Lord, had planned for me, like the Lord, did for Jeremiah. That's when he was a clot of blood. He knew him. I think the same applies to me, spiritually and internally, but externally, the mentors around, tracing from the family, and then the church, Sunday school, whatever, and then the schools that I attended.
Two questions that emanate from the Rev. Number one, what were the key principles and values you picked from these mentors? That's number one. Number two, now if listening to you, it's obvious that you were more like a community product. Today we are losing that communal spirit among Ghanaians. Everybody is living in Accra, father, son, and what we call the nucleus family and stuff. You can't even correct another person's child who is not your own biological child. Are you concerned about that?
Yeah, for your second question, I'm very concerned. But for the first question, as I said, what I really, took out of the people around me in the community, tracing from the family, the church, the school, I think the family church school had influenced my life. And it was about the mentoring procedures. I am that type. Up till now, I'll look at you and I think that I want to be like you. And many women, I've looked at. For example, the present vice president was my lecturer at the University of Cape Coast. And from first year, a Kofodia girl who had gone to Cape Coast and seen this woman who had her PhD, I will look at where she's teaching, I will be looking at her, and I always wish that I need to do my PhD. So it's about the mentoring procedures and my mindset. That's no. This is the person I want to, be like. And maybe my mother. My mother too was a teacher. So I looked onto her. And up to now, my husband, Mr. William Adasi, will attest that I am someone who doesn't want to go, poor. Because my mother was a teacher, a primary school teacher at that time. And then she would bake meat pie for us to sell. She would do this. She was very entrepreneurial. And I had followed all these. Yeah, so the mentoring procedures is very, very necessary in the aspect the people who surround us. Because it's what we see and practice that makes us who we are. And you see the second question.
Are you concerned about the breakup or the breaking down of our communal living concept?
Yeah, I am very particular because I taught at Achimota High School. I was teaching social studies.
Okay.
So these were some of the topics that
That's what
I
I
was
know.
looking at. Oh yes, I taught at Achimota.
You know, my son
High
was there.
School.
My son and his wife were
Oh,
there.
I was there that's why I had all my 3 daughters.
Oh,
I taught there from 1995 to 2002.
interesting.
When I left for my further studies in Germany and I came back to the University of Ghana and all that. Yeah, so I've been teaching. One of my topics was on culture and development. Yeah, and then at the Accra Polytechnic, now the Accra Technical University. I also taught there, and I rose to be a vice dean.
I see.
Yes, the head of languages and liberal studies, and then also the vice dean before I moved to the University of Ghana. Yeah, so I've been talking about this, and I was teaching a topic, the family. And I was seeing that the family system, the African family system, was very good for us. But we, in Akan, Osuatra, Yesuatra.
How to explain that in English for our international audience?
International. Yesuatra meaning that we have copied other cultures that are not ours. Because with ours,
we have overcopied.
Yes, we have overcopied. With ours, the family system was that father, mother. So I used to draw a family tree for my students. We had father, mother. Then we have siblings. Then we have aunties, uncles, cousins. Then it traces to nieces, grandparents, grandfathers, grandmothers. And all of them were living on the same compound. You build your room, you build your room, you build your room. So even when you were at work, there were other adults in the home taking care of you or watching you. So you dare do anything bad. But now we are thinking westernized. That no, it should be only husband, wife, children, and then husband, wife with the economical,
challenges.
Challenges and advancement. Everybody's going for work. Then we leave the children. Who do they look on to as mentors? Because you know that my emphasis had been on mentorship in life. In life is mentorship. If I would know, do I cook well? The fufu and the light soup. Yeah. If I'm able to do all these very well, then it's because I learned from my parents, whether my guardian or my biological mother, father, whoever I stayed with. The way I will do the washing, if I don't have the washing machine or whatever, the way I will keep the house, even the way I will walk, the way I will talk, whether I talk humbly or I'm not respectful or whatever, it comes from the people around you, the people that you look onto. So I think the mentorship.
You think we can fix these things?
Maybe.
Now talking not just as a parent, but as an educationist, heading one of the most famous training institutions that produces teachers into our system. Can we fix these things?
So maybe through some of the platforms like what you are doing, if we can go deep, down to them and also create the consciousness and the awareness in the schools. Like, we've been planning that if you can even come to my campus, maybe we have to form clubs like we used to have. We have scripture union clubs and other clubs. We need to, because it looks like the technology, these mobile phones, internet and things are now taking our children away. Instead of our children or the youth concentrating or using these facilities, the technology, to rather, learn and move on scientifically or whatever. It looks like they are using it for the negative aspect.
Absolutely.
Look at it. They will take the phones and whatever, WhatsApping, and some are doing all sorts of things at that youthful stage that they think they have a lover. What type of lover is that? The person has not brought the bride with to your parents. So why are you even saying that you are watching pornographic with that person on the phone? So the technology, they are abusing it. They should use it for the good things that the thing is bringing for us, but not for some of these things. And on our campuses, as you are saying, right from the primary schools and whatever, like my campus, we need to create the awareness and consciousness, because these days too we have some organizations as human rights, and you there. Let me just give this example that we know that we are in the African society, and I would love that I have 3 daughters.
Sure.
Yeah, I have 3 daughters.
Sure.
And I would love that my daughter.
I think one got married.
Yes, she got married. Yeah, she's a medical officer.
Yeah.
She got married. Yeah, so I'm praying. Yeah, she got married. The Lord should bless her to get children and all that. But the students, like the females that I mentor, some of them, by the time they even come for first year, they're already pregnant. And who is the husband?
Actually, some in the basic school.
Yes.
And pregnant.
That is what I get sad. I'm always sad to see that. But if you have finished the education and then you have the certificate and you go and marry, then the gracing team will come, because I'll wear the white and come. Last Sunday, if you see me and my students, I'll send you some of the pictures. We were dancing, we had a revival, and it was so joyous, you see. So we need to bring all these ideas to them, especially the gender issues and then the empowerment. Now, it's not only about females. Someone warned me sometime, Grace, talk about the men also, before in future, if you don't see, the trousers will not even be here. It will be here.
Yeah.
It will be
now
here.
Look at the hairstyle.
The hairstyle and the earring. I always tell my husband that, I keep a very short hair. Yeah, so I was telling my husband, when you grow, you would even want to have a very short hair. But now look at these boys and young men going to the salon. And when I'm in the salon and they come, they're washing their hair, I feel very uncomfortable. And I wish that I can say something to them that why are you wasting money? They will also think they will also think that I'm also doing my hair. So no, but for me, traditionally, I think as a woman, I need to braid my hair and all that, but not you, the man, because sometimes I don't also want to point out any negativity because of human rights issues. I don't want to venture into the human relationships that we have now, because I don't know people's affiliation. I'm talking about,
LGBT and stuff.
More. I don't want to venture there, because some are also quoting scriptures that why don't we want to? Jesus said all inclusive. Jesus brought on board everybody. So why don't we want to bring them on board? So fine, we will bring them on board, and then we make sure that they do the right thing and convert. Because Christianity, as I talk about, is not only about following Jesus Christ, but even about your personality, your health and everything. Yeah, your health. So these young women, I mentor them a lot. And luckily, my students are all females. So I tell them, I want you to, and I have some staff and students who have named their children after me. I feel very proud about that. But let's do the right processes and get to the stage. For some of them to, one time I met one of my students, Mama, give me money to go and buy food. She was pregnant, so I gave her the money. I said, but who is responsible for your belly? And Mama, it was a mistake. I wept in front of her. I said, why do you do that? Why should it be a mistake? Don't let it be a mistake. So I brought her to my side, and I also started teaching her about the use of contraceptives and all these things and all that. Yeah, so it's very sad what is going on, because you see a young woman who has the potentials, and those who come and misbehave on our campuses, do not attend lectures. They are always drunk. They are smoking, and
you mean the ladies?
I'm telling you, some of them, a few. At least sometimes you get like one. Those who do that, they are very brilliant. They can be the pilots. They can be the engineers, electrical engineers. They can be those and that. Because some also pass through the training college and they move on to do, now is a degree in education. So some will move on to do other programs, do their masters, do their PhDs and all that. So the youth, and it's not only about the school, but the churches also that I pastor and the community that I live in. So what are we doing? The men and the women, fathers and mothers, what are we doing? Because some parents too, we just leave, our daughters. And even now the men, now she didn't talk about the daughters only, the men, because of the heterosexual activities and other things that are going on. So we should talk about our young men and our young women. Because we know that at some ages, those who do biology will tell us, how, the growing and how do they call it? Those who do science. And the hormones.
The hormones, yes.
The hormones. That sometime at a stage, maybe that person is 14 years, 50 years, and he's having the feeling to go and do it. But if the brain, the mind is set well and, conscientized, I don't think that person will be thinking about those things at that time. And the young women, what I use to always train them is that wait until it's your time. Wait until it's your time. And also let the man come to your parents or guardian or family members to present the things so that you don't go there and later come and weep and in the social media tell us that the man is beating you. The man didn't give you money to go and buy food for the children and all that. And then, recently there was a case. When you go to, I think in future, we would have to go to Dosu, and then we have to do a research if they will give us some of the cases without names. Some of the cases, so that we'll use those cases to talk to our young men and women, especially the women are my concern. Because I think there is a case that I think they said the woman, she hit the man and the man died or something, a very young woman. Because when the man came back from work, the woman had given him a banku and soup, but he wanted banku and okra stew. And the woman said the money that he left was not enough. In my case, the woman, if you were to be working, the man gives you the money, you also top up.
Yeah.
Women, if we cannot give equally, we should be top-ups. You top up to bring peace, to bring harmony, to bring independent lives, to bring happiness. So the man gave the money and it wasn't enough. And then when the man also came, he said, no, that was not the food that he wanted. And he became angry, and I think they said he took a knife. And unfortunately, the woman pulled the knife from him and stabbed him.
Oh my goodness.
Now, the woman, where will you be? So these young women, we need
Was the
to...
man, anyway, we were not there, me and two, I was not there. So
yes, we're not there. But, these days, the social media, there are a lot of things on the social media. So I think we really need to empower these youth through education. It's not only about, I'm a church woman, but not only about Christianity. We really need to let them know.
We'll come to education bit, but let me talk about leadership, because here you are, busy as you are, teacher, reverend minister, wife, mother.
So Google for my name and you see that paper.
I will.
Multiple roles of African women.
And we'll have a second round of this conversation another time. But I'm asking, what are some of the decisions or qualities that have shaped you to become the leader that you are today? Combining all these roles, these multiple roles that we talked about.
My bringing up, my education, and my faith in Jesus Christ.
But a lot of people in your category who have experienced all the things that you've talked about, education, bringing up and all that, but leadership is missing. What are we not getting right here?
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying that we need to be cautious about ourselves, like you are asking, because some are also into leadership and they are not thinking the way we are thinking right now, even about the youth. Some are in leadership and they think that leadership is superiority. No, my ideology is that leadership is humbleness. Leadership is serving. I have some of my people who tell me, anytime that we're having a program and they're introducing me, Dr. Awiso will say that our principal who wants to be known as the chief servant of the institution, we need to serve them. Yes, we need to serve our people so that we shouldn't think that we are on top and it's that we are shouting on them or we are doing this. No, we need to come down to them and even serve them. And that is where the mentoring comes up.
In.
So, even the principal is doing this, then let me do this. Even the principal is, pursuing other qualifications, she's still studying. Let me also do this. Even the principal is sweeping, let me also sweep and all that, you see. So that they will practice what they see and not, shouting and this and that. Yeah.
Let's go to education, which is key for me here. Because all the things we've talked about here, I think that if we trace it very well, it's also about the quality of education that we give to our young people or even to the society. So I'll start by asking you, from your standpoint, you're a teacher, you're a principal, you're a reverend minister, and all that. What would you consider to be the key purpose of education?
Yeah, so the key purpose of education should be all, inclusive. I'm talking about the theoretical and, the practical.
Right.
It shouldn't be only theoretical. We should practice what we also learn and then all inclusive. Yeah.
You live in a country where we believe more in titles, status. Everybody wants to have a PhD. But you have the society becoming so unethical, lack of integrity, morality is gone through the window and all of that. Are we missing something? I mean, I'm sure you've seen the statistics of the more practices, examination, more practices, even at the basic schools and all of that. Are we benefiting from our educational system?
We have gone somewhere, but there's still a lot to be done. And as I said,
you're a principal, so tell us.
Yeah, so as I said, if you look at my writings, especially my book and all that, it tells about my ideas. You see that all these issues that you are talking about, immorality, more practices at the examination centers and all that, you realize that all these are coming from our culture. That needs to be addressed.
Explain.
The person is pursuing his or her education, and he thinks that I need to get the AAA so that I will get the job and get money. So I should force myself. I should bribe my way through. I should go and buy examination questions and copy. And then even about the titles, during funerals and other gatherings, yes, Reverend Doctor, so Professor, this. You see that people will be hailing such a person. You go to the advanced world and other societies, some are even professors, they don't want to use the titles. But what happens here? So our cultures and traditions are really influencing. The young woman will travel those days to Nigeria without any, profession or whatever, comes back with the big pan, some soaps, rice, oil, and then the mother will be proud in the village. What did she go there to do? Maybe prostitution, but the mother will not look at that, but the things that they have brought. Some people will come to the cities to struggle. They don't even have places to sleep. You let something happen in the village, like funerals, monthly funerals, they'll go and borrow clothes. And then they'll go to the village and then they'll put on the clothes and other things. So that the young girl, young boy, who should be going to school and learning hard for future, will look onto that person and say, take me to Accra. Meanwhile, you don't know what that person is doing. And then they will bring that person to Accra and you see that person comes and it's like, oh, we are selling this, so we are doing this. Many young girls are complaining, especially in some countries. We hear that even some women will go and bring them to the cities. I think even here in the mining areas, this Galamsey has also been a very big issue. Because of late, I see on social media all the time, you see that the police will go and destroy some places, and the number of youth, and many too, they say they are Nigerians, but they've come here, and our youth will follow them.
Yeah.
There are always, scenes of young men and women in those Galamsey areas, in brothels. That is very sad. Why brothels? You are youthful, you have the energy. My husband will talk about youthful energy. And is that what you are using it for? For smoking, things that you shouldn't smoke and all that. And then drinking, and the women just using your bodies and getting all sorts of sexually transmitted diseases. Where lies your future?
So the question I'm asking you as a principal of your school is, are we able to use education, which I believe we can, to transform our society in thinking right? And if we can, have we started that process?
Yes, to both questions, but we should intensify. We are using education. That's why they come, like, we have about 49 colleges of education in the country, not talk about nursing and other universities and all that. And when they come there, they go through the learning processes, especially like my college that is Presbyterian. We try to let them go through all that needs to be, disciplined and empowerment. We, Presbyterians, we have our own ideology, the use of, the head, the use of, the
Heart and hand.
the hands. So when you come there are sometimes I meet those of other religions, and I ask them, why did you choose the school? Yes, because we like the Presbyterian discipline, because we like the Presbyterian training, and it's all over, internal and international. The products of the Agogo Presbyterian Women's College of Education, that women who have passed through that college are of a difference.
So that's Agogo. But how do we generalize it across?
Yes, it happens in some of the institutions.
Teachers are teachers.
Yes.
And once they finish, they are posted to different parts of the country. Yeah. So how, and they are supposed to go and model the things that they've learned in school. Not just in terms of theory, but in terms of practice. How do we make sure that we can use education as the medium to transform the thinking of our young people?
There should be the consciousness, workshops, seminars, and even at church. There should be the consciousness. We shouldn't just leave it like it is. So the Ministry of Education should come in.
How? I thought you guys are with them all the time.
Yes. Yeah. So by giving us, it's always also about the financial, so that we invite speakers, we invite the skilled persons to come and do workshops, training, things that will create the awareness, consciousness.
I thought the curriculum for training them covers all these things.
Yeah, but what we are doing maybe is not enough. Yeah, it should be topped up. It should be topped up. And like always, the teachers know that they are mentors. They are mentors, so they are doing their best. And of late, I think I saw another thing that I was happy that the Ministry of Education would want even to look at the type of appearance that a teacher, takes to school. Because you are a teacher. You are a teacher. I'm sure that there had been some females, even their dressing. All these things we have to look into. I remember our mother's time, the teachers, they had their uniform. And I think those things are perfect. There was a time I went for, a graduation ceremony in one of the colleges. And I called the gentleman. I said, you are graduating, you are a male. Look at what you have done to your hair. Do you know that the village that you go and teach, the small boy in your class, this is what he is going to admire and tell you that he wants to do same.
That leads me to the next question, Rev.
Yeah.
Character formation. To what extent are you people, when I say you people, principals of colleges of education, teaching your students about character formation, they themselves, before they transmit it to the younger ones?
That is, generally, on the wider side, you will not see any bad, appearances or whatever. The teachers are, they comport themselves. They are role models. They are mentors.
Sure.
Yeah, but a few, like I'm telling you, of late, look at what even we've been hearing and seeing. That, some male tutors will take these young girls into their rooms, their offices, and that is not good.
And even when it comes to exams, there are people who collect
Yes, at that age, look at what's happened at KNUST, the senior high. And this young girl, you have that egg to say that, yes, you are not young, you are whatever. And it all boils down to the family training, because it starts from there before she came to the school. And if you listen and you watch, we had a lot of issues like that. We had a lot, and I was surprised. I said, what's happening in the world? Because we know that the teaching profession goes with decency, mentorship. And you, the man, look at what you are doing to the young girl. So do you even expect her to respect her father, the male in the church, or whatever? So maybe, as I'm saying, the consciousness should still be, because we have some sections in the schools also that we do workshops and other things. And I think we need to intensify all these. But these youth of today are very problematic. Just because they have a lot of things around them. When we're at our precious school, Philippine Senior High School, did you have a mobile phone?
No, I didn't.
Exactly.
I didn't.
So you can now
but
understand.
You cannot also take technology out of
exactly.
System. Is it that we have not learned how to utilize technology to our benefit and rather allowing the negatives of technology to rather take hold of our young people?
I said it earlier on that they are not using it in the right direction. For me, some. And it's not all of them. Hey, we have decent ones. Honestly, we have decent ones. Like my school, I have decent young women because my school has that history that, before they even established it, they did it with the vision and mission at that time that the reverend ministers would choose their wives from that college. Oh. And it has been happening up to now.
The reverend ministers choose the wives of the students?
Yes. They choose their wives from that place.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Some men cannot even approach women, especially when they are made ministers. And you know that when you are made a minister, you need a partner. Sure. We don't want you to be single in the church. So,
but the person can be married and then so mess up.
These are exceptionals. These are exceptionals. Yeah. But as I'm saying, for all that we are saying in my school, we have trained them. And when you enter from day one, we tell you. So that is why many people also like the place. Up to now, they sweep, they do many things themselves. Though they say we are tertiary, some of them were agitating. We are now like University of Ghana. And then our former moderator said, no. Even if you are University of Ghana, you didn't go to University of Ghana. You came to Agogo, Presbyterian Women's College of Education. And we want you to go out so as that when people see you. Let me cite an example of my father's younger brother's wife. Yeah, that is he was a lieutenant colonel, a chaplain and a Presbyterian minister in the army. He came after my father, and I used to be very closer to him. When I had my babies, I would go and stay with them at Bema Camp. The wife. When I went to Agogo Women's College, and then the old girls had to come for homecoming. And she said, Efia, I'm coming to your school. And I said, hey, Auntie B, you are an old girl. That is why this woman, right from 37 Military Hospital, when I deliver my baby, will not give my baby to me. I'll go and hide and cry. Auntie B is not giving my baby to me. A very hard-working woman up till now. She's about 80-year-old now at her residency at Fise, Amasamai. Sometimes she doesn't even see me. I'll be passing and I'll be watching before I go and approach her. She comes out to sweep the front, the gardens everywhere. That is the Agogo woman that I'm talking about. When you pass through that college, many of them come to tell the students their stories that when they even go and teach in the towns, some landowners do not charge them.
Is it about the leadership of the...
Leadership training.
So therefore, if you have training, other colleges that are not instilling these sort of things?
Many of the colleges, they are, because, many...
I like your modesty. You're speaking as a reverend.
Many of the colleges, they are also faith-based.
Yes.
They are also faith-based. Yes. They are also faith-based. So, and many of the colleges. But now, the students, they don't want to, some of them, because they say they are tertiary, they are this. So we are praying that they will allow us to go on with what we are doing, because it's for their own good.
When is a day? Who?
The human activists, human rights activists. The human rights activists. Because people too are in the society. Something small, then, they will even call them. Oh, they say you are sweeping in the school. At this level, why are you sweeping? Oh, they say they don't allow you to go home until you take exit. No, you are tertiary. The 10 people are also preaching to them.
Yeah, but if the student doesn't want to stay, they go by the rules. You sack the person.
That's what I'm saying. That you go and sack too. Then some can even send you to court. That what does the statute say? Why did you sack me?
So are we? This is very interesting, Doc. Now I'm using Doc. Is it that we have training institutions that are the beck and call of what? Other special interest groups, like this human rights stuff? Don't we have a strict vision that we are pursuing as a college, as a school, as a nation?
We have a strict vision. We even have our vision and mission, but where the society has gotten to now, all of us, it has maybe, highlighted, be aware, be careful.
But if our parents, you and I, our parents,
yes.
You just mentioned Mrs. 80-year-old man.
Yes.
If they had done that, you think they were not aware? They were aware, they were careful, but I think they focused on the future of these young people. Your kids, you have 3 of them.
Yes.
You think when you were disciplining them, they thought that you were a wicked woman.
Oh yeah.
But you
don't our mother is hard.
So at what point in time are we going to allow the influx from society to now shape the future of our young people?
I think we should rather, as we have been discussing today, we should create the awareness and consciousness and let them know that all that we do is for their future. You can imagine when we were to Philippine secondary school.
You didn't add the best school.
The best school, you see. Then sometimes we run home to go for Idria and all that. Yeah. I'm very happy that there was a time I went home and luckily too I went home. Other than that, that our headmaster, Mr. Chima, they punished me. And my mother had to come and beg for me because luckily I went home. But some people were running away. They were not going home, you see. So we need to let them know that, no, this is, what you have to do. You have to do, the right thing. Like Wesley Girls, I think they have a slogan that tells that you need to do the right thing because when you do the right thing, it's for your own good. And then that is why I am still emphasizing that from maybe class 4, when the children are growing, or the SHS, and even in our colleges, I told them this Sunday even at church, you need to get mentors. Know who you want to be like. Yes.
Do you think that
good mentors?
Do you think there should be the role of parents as stakeholders in education should be taken seriously?
Very seriously.
In this time?
Very seriously. And the parents too, I wish that there would be some associations and organizations that maybe the parents would also be meeting periodically, because some parents are even afraid of their children, especially in some instances where, the teenagers rather go out to bring money home.
And you don't know how they got the money.
They don't know how they got the money, but the parents. So some parents, I'm telling you, some parents are afraid of their children, honestly, that they cannot even talk to them. But where do they start from? If you start right from birth and control the child very well, I don't think you get to that level. Or you go to some homes, it's like the other time my daughter was telling me, you go to some home and someone is a grandmother, and let's say she's 30 years old, but she's a grandmother. You see, she's a grandmother. And then the daughter maybe is also 14 years, and the daughter has a baby. So that's why she's a grandmother. Meaning that she too, when she was 14, 15, she had. And if they don't take care, it means that thing is going to replicate. It's going to follow. That's in that family, at age 14, 15, you give birth to children. When you are not independent, working and earning for yourself.
So where does education then come in addressing all this?
Education, yes, the formal and the informal. That's why I say, so the community leaders, the churches, the queen mothers, the chiefs, community leaders should come on board. Like, where I am, for example, or let me cite my hometown as an example, like Kwabin, I'm thinking about community leaders. I'm thinking about church leaders, the chiefs, the queen mothers, the family elders. They should come on board and do something. Because then when they speak to the youth, will listen. And like we are saying, if you are a queen mother, many queen mothers take a lot of initiatives, and bring on board the youth and all that. One time I was very excited when I was watching one Queen Mother Forgotten in the Greater Accra region. And she was even talking about the beat that was on her ankle. He said, the young girls, when she sees them with those things there, then she said, come, but why do you have those things here? You know, I am a Queen Mother. Do you know why those things is there? Those things is spiritual. So why do you also put it on yours? That day I was very excited. I said, yes, this woman is talking something. It means that our youth, they are putting those things they don't understand. They don't understand.
Do you think there should be? I don't know. I'm just speculating. Do you think we've left the future of our young people too much in the hands of government?
No, onto themselves.
Onto themselves.
After all, when you go to some societies, I'm sure it's not only the government that sponsors everything. Sure. So this is a time too that the NGOs, the philanthropies, and those who have, my brother, some people, they have the monies. What are they doing with the money?
But what would they do with the money? I mean, we talk about morality. We talk about...
They should sponsor.
Sponsor what?
Sponsor institutions and individuals, like I'm talking about, to do the workshops and seminars. Okay. And in a smaller groups, like our hometowns, if you go there and you say you want to do this, there should be initiatives and innovations. We shouldn't look onto the static things every time. So now we can initiate. So you go to Oyoko and start doing something. I also go to Kwame and start doing something. And I even started in my church. Whenever I go, I tell them, please, would you take these children very well in their studies? All the females who pass, I want them to be at the Agogo, Presbyterian Women's College of Education. And in future, I'll come out, boldly when I leave the place that at least I've sent many girls from my hometown and my father's hometown to the college to be trained as teachers.
So, Doc, we've been talking about the youth, the family, and all of that. Now, this is your camera. And I'm going to ask a question, and the question is very simple.
You say I've been talking about what?
I said we've been talking about the youth, we've been talking about the family, we've been talking about the schools, education, and all of that. But one fundamental thing that underlines all that is that we are losing our young people. And something ought to be done. A very drastic action has to be taken to salvage what is going on here. So this is your camera. Now, 3 groups of people, I want you to address them. Number 1, policymakers. What must they do? Number 2, parents. What must they do? And then finally, the youth themselves. As a reverend minister, as a head of a training college that is producing teachers, frankly and thankfully from Presbyterian angle, whereby the values are very strong. What should they do? And what do you have to tell them? That's your camera.
The policy makers, the
family
and the youth themselves. Yeah. Yes. So with the policy makers, the stakeholders, who are the stakeholders? Who are concerned with the youth development. I think I cannot leave out the Ministry of Education. Sure. And then which other organizations?
Ghana Education Service.
Yeah, Ghana Education Service.
Ministry of Education.
Yeah. These are the former ones. And I think we have the Youth and Development.
National Youth Council. National Youth Authority.
Yeah, National Youth Authority. So these are the former ones also. And then also the stakeholders, like I would never leave out the leaders in our communities.
Sure.
Because
the community leaders.
Yes, they are the community leaders to talk about the chiefs and the reverend ministers and all that, because it's just recently that some people are thinking that when someone is a pastor or reverend minister, then maybe that person is just starting or giving out some prophecies that they don't believe. Other than that, but those people, I don't even think they are reverend ministers. Sure. or pastors, because the ones that the Lord has called and ordained, that I know, very, very good, and they are doing very well. Yeah, so I think these stakeholders, the policymakers, for example, they should design a lot of initiatives. They should be innovative.
You are talking to them.
They should be innovative.
They are listening to you.
Yes, they should be innovative. As I said, in my field of study, I'm always thinking about, researching. So they need to to do some research and know the problem. So their objective is about creating awareness for youth empowerment, and to straighten up the youth. And as such, we should do, I'm talking about, the policymakers should do the research. Their research department should come out with the questionnaires or, the research procedures so that we know the actual problems about the youth and how to create the awareness, consciousness, and empower them. So if they would have to go to the regions and down to the towns, to the communities, societies, villages, churches, because it shouldn't also be on a larger, a scale like the population. We should do something that will be narrowed. I know TTL is doing something. Yeah, because sometimes my tutors, they go around the schools, and I think some of these things are sponsored by, TTL. And so where are the other organizations? We should know them. So that's, I think the Ministry of Education have a lot of these stakeholders for the policy makers that I'm talking about, so that they come down to strategize on how to reach the youth. As we're discussing this morning, right now, some of the youth are even under the grounds doing galamsey. They should come up. They shouldn't come out only in the night. They should come during the day, so that if we are to embark on these processes, then they will also be involved and not think about doing the galamsey alone, because we have heard of the consequences of galamsey, especially on the health issues. And some even go down there and then they die. They never come out. So I think the research will do for us to know the problem. Right now, you and I, what are the problems? What are the problems that have caused these youth to be this and that? Why? So that, the WH questions in research. Why are the youth not thinking of their future? Why are the young men thinking of only plaiting their hair and bleaching themselves and putting on the tofista and sleeping daytime and trying to rob in the night? Why? We should know the WH questions. And then where are they? Who are they? What is their level of education? What is their interests? We need to go down to them. You know that when the free SHS was introduced, many of them will go. I know in some communities, they say many of them will go for the Form 1. By Form 2, they had vanished. Just 3-year course, you will stay in and finish. By Form 2, they had vanished. So why? We should know the whys. And then when we know the WH questions, that is the problem. So the problem statements, when we know the problems, and then what do the stakeholders do? And all these will also need financial support, because research assistance that they will send around and all that. And then when we get the problems, when they do their questionnaires and they know what to do, they would have to engage those educational leaders who can help. And then they do the workshop seminars by bringing them, because some of them too who had even stopped schooling, if they think they've stopped schooling for some years, can we also engage them in an informal education processes, or in an adult education, or in a weekend education? There are many things. There is the need of invention. There is the need of invention. They should invent, and then we know how to, because we need to reach them. Some of them, they don't even know what they are doing. They don't understand what they are doing. So they have to know that, no, this that you are doing. Then maybe doing interviews with them, like face-to-face interviews and all that, they need to bring to their, to their forecourts that, what do you think you will be in the next 5 years? What do you think you will be in the next 10 years? You are now 18 years old, and you have not engaged yourself maybe in formal education or in an apprenticeship or something. You are 18. You have just had pragya. You have just had abugoya, and you have impregnated this girl. Maybe, there will be the cases. I know of one gentleman who was sent to self, and when the issue was brought to me and we were discussing, there was one young girl and I said, because someone's phone was stolen and the person said they saw, this iPhone, so they saw the videos and that guy who had the pragia, so they brought him out of the cells and I said, what? Then there was one young girl, I said, but this girl, what are you doing here? I'm not going to school. They said, oh, she is the girlfriend. She went to buy kinky for him. And I said, come, you are what? But how old are you? And he has been put to cells and you go and buy food. I said, where is your mother? She said, I'm staying with my stepmother. So it comes to the family. The family, even if I'm to blame anyone, in the society and in the country, for example, everybody is saying government. What should the government also do? We should also help ourselves and then the government will help us. So the family, in your own small way, father, mother, what are you doing? Did the child tell you that he wanted to come to the world? The child did not tell you he wanted to come to the world. You brought the child, so why don't you guide the child and help the child? Some people would, do you know the number of students I have sponsored because some don't even have money to buy the pad because mine is female. So let me use that as an example. And this young, last Sunday, the way they laugh, I asked the first years, I said, first years you have come. Please let the chaplain know. If any of you had a boyfriend who bought your application form, let's know the list. Come and take their monies for them.
Wow.
I've had instances they will come and the guys will be standing at my gate. My house is closer to the gate. What are you looking for? I'm looking for my girlfriend. They come. Then as the girls had entered the gate, Presbyterian, they realized that, no, I don't like that boy again. And they will be chasing them. And then, madam, I even bought her forms. So now I'm initiating something that if you come to first year, if it's a guy that bought your application forms, I am ready to pay that. And that guy should stay away. When you finish your program in 4 years, I don't know your decision, then you can decide because I want you to get your degree. So father, mother, family, what are you doing? You need to pay attention. We cite examples. I am a product of teachers. My father was a teacher. My mother was a teacher. Before my father did further studies and became an economic planning officer. So you know the home I'm coming from. So if you see me like this today, it is a father, mother, and a family that has molded me. So parents, what are we doing? So the family, even about the policymakers. The policymakers are there. We bring forth the children before they will get hold of them. So the family, what are we doing? We should really be serious and try to mentor our children. You, the single mother, you are in a single room with your children. Today, they sleep on the floor, you are on the bed. They wake up, they are going to use the washroom. They see that mother is not sleeping there alone. And today, Mr. Osei is your father. Tomorrow, Mr. Owusu is your father. The next day, Mr. Adasi is your father. The same woman, your children, you are single mother. Then you are introducing many men into your room and telling your girl child who is 14-year-old that Mr. Osei is your father, Mr. Owusu is your father, Mr. George is your father, Mr. Adasi is your father. Hey, how many fathers does he have? Please, you get the scenario. So the family influence is too high. And the young boy also. How are you bringing him up? Your wife is a nurse. She goes to work in the night. And today, Madam Fair Khaled came last night when mommy was on night duty. Tomorrow night, the Blackie woman came. So and so. Your son is watching you. So when he goes to the secondary school, and then, not my school, he will go and stand at the orchard, under the trees, with Akosia Abna, Ajwa. Then senior housemaster will be very strict and come out and call you the parent from the home. Your son does this, he does this at school, and you come and you behave like you don't know your son. What have you been doing that your son? Your mentoring. The mentoring is both, formal and informal, conscious and unconscious. So I think the policymakers have said something to the family. And the youth. My mother told me when you are 7 years and above, then you know your left and right. After 7 years, my mother tells me that even if I want to adopt, children to be with me, it should be before age 7. Because by age 7, you know everything. What are you thinking about your future and the next years ahead of you? Why are you rushing the young women? A time will come that the man will be sleeping with you 24/10. You will not even want him to touch you. So today, why are you rushing? Wait until that time. Why are you leaving the home to go and sleep with the man whilst the man has not performed the marriage rites? Why? You don't want your children to be in diapers. You don't want your children to be in baby's cots. You don't want your children to have their seats at the back of your car whilst you drive them to school. You go and teach, you pick your children. You want to be with that man that will always be beating you, will be going and giving you 10 Ghana, 5 Ghana. At this level, why? You are in the secondary school, you are in the training college, or you are at the university. Why do you think that gentleman should go and, do the pragya and the bugoya and bring you money, and then you give him also a baby? You go and do that. Then in future, those who are serious come out, get, responsible husbands. And then, as my father said, you'll be pointing, I was in, the school I was at secondary school with Yvonne. Oh. Then my father would say, and what happened? That Yvonne is now a minister of education, and you are still somewhere. And then when you see Yvonne coming for funerals, then you'll be running away and just pointing, I was in the same class with Yvonne. What happened? So a word to the wise is, now, please, choose mentors. There are a lot of mentors. This is when you go to the social media. I have a lot of mentors. Pastor Selina Bedu is even my mentor. Yeah, that's a female prophetess. I like her so much because she likes talking about the word of God. And many other women. And then men. Reverend Nana Inti Jakari and other men are all my mentors when it comes to, my Christian formation. So why? Why? We need to really sit up. And then we know that education is the light of the world. And education is not only about reading theoretical things. There are some practicalities also. So know what you want to do. If you want to be a hairdresser, do it and do it very well. In some countries, you can even do PhD in cosmetology. So those also in the advanced world, like our Ghanaian youth, for example, I always tell them that you have come to the advanced world. Make good use of the system. If you say we don't have it, because when you come to Ghana, it is like, oh, you don't have it. Africa, we are poor. So what about those of you who have traveled outside and you are in the advanced country and now you are even citizens of that country? What are you doing about the things that they have, the quality things? What are you doing about it? You've gone to school. Are you following those who are thinking that, yeah, we are burgers, we are in America, we are in the UK, so you just, I don't say doing of the hair is bad, but try to be independent in life, study hard, aim get high, and get something better for yourself. When you get them, then if you want to plait the hair or whatever you want to do, you do it and do it very well. Not that you are even a man and you plait the hair and for 1 month you haven't washed the hair because you don't have money to wash it. Let's make good use. When you travel, like Toronto, you go and you see our fellow, Africans. It's so sad that we are here and we say government hasn't done this, our road is this, we don't have money, our education, we go, our computer lab, we don't have the computers and all that. What about the advanced world that you have all those things? What are you doing about yourself? Make good use of all these and aim very high in life. Above all, the Christians, they should pray with God. All things are possible.
Well, what else can I add? I don't think there's anything I can add. The Reverend Doctor has spoken. And for those of you who have been with us all this while, this program is about shaping of minds, changing of attitudes, and influencing policy at the highest level. And today it's been a great honor hosting my own friend, my own school mate from the best school in the entire whole world, Oforipeni Secondary School. It's been a great honor having you, Rev.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. And if you've watched this program and up to now you have not subscribed, please subscribe to this channel and put on the notification button so that anytime we upload the video, you can get it and be a part of what we are doing. We are changing Africa one life at a time. That is our mandate. That's our focus. And I hope you'll be a part of that community. Thank you. Rev? Great Opas.
Hail to be a great Opasha. Alma Mater.